Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 579 of the Tinder Love Podcast. This time with video. We are in the apartment office, and there's a lot of differences in our lives since the last time we talked to you.
So I looked, and our last episode filmed was March 24th.
Are you serious?
Yes, and in that podcast, we talked about how life was going to look. I didn't listen to it, but how life was going to look once we were married and that week in between the honeymoon and the wedding.
Well, luckily for you guys, we know the answers. And we are married. I have the ring, finally. She's had hers. Are you serious?
Sorry.
Well, I'm married at least, and we're here to talk to you about the wedding day, that whole week, honeymoon, everything in between. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a good one.
Yes.
What do you want to start with, I guess?
Let's talk about the wedding.
Okay.
Because we kind of did a lot of build up towards the wedding, and like how our planning was going. Now, granted, we did stop in March, and obviously a lot happened closer to it we didn't talk about. And honestly, I don't really know if I could fill you in because I kind of forget because it was all blur leading up to the wedding. But the day was almost as perfect as it could have been.
Yeah, things went fairly smoothly overall. I think,
It was a little hot for the end of September.
Yeah.
But it didn't rain. I mean, it did for about 10 minutes, but it didn't affect anything other than, like, dinner starting. So that was good. We got all of our pictures in. All of our guests have raved about how much fun they had, how it was such a good wedding, and everything went well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than there were some mix-ups with when and where me and the groomsmen were supposed to go. I mean, everyone followed the directions, but two people were told to be at the same place at the same time, and they were not supposed to be seeing each other, aka you and I. So that was about the biggest scare we had from a thing going wrong standpoint. But other than that, I mean, I had a groomsman rip his pants. One groomsman had a zipper broken, and I'd say 3 or 4 out of the 5 groomsmen did not try on their pants before they got there. So, I mean, that's kind of what I had to deal with, but nothing went terribly wrong, so I think we're good.
Yeah, between you and I don't think anything went wrong. I mean, we're married. We're here now.
Still married.
Yes, we're about a month and a half in. And all of the problems you could say that we had throughout the day, I was not made aware of them until, like,
After
the fact, like, probably during the reception when you were kind of telling me everything, which I think was good, because if I had heard that a groomsman ripped his pants and a zipper broke before the ceremony, I think I would have been freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that there's anything we could have done really at that point, like they were already been broken, so.
Yeah, another little hiccup was, so my best man and I had to set up the backdrop the morning of, and we had about an hour to do it. So we get the little tripods up that held, like, the curtain. We would go to hang up the lights, and we start pulling them out of the box. We had tested them at your house before.
I think I tested one of the boxes because I had just opened it and unraveled it and got it all ready, like, the week before the wedding. So, like, 2 weeks prior.
Yeah. So we start plugging them in, and it's mostly, like, my aunts and uncles that are there helping set up. And we get one that has all of them but one that is working. So one of them isn't working. So we're like, okay, maybe we can probably work around it. Let's see what other ones we got and make sure they're all good. And then it got worse and worse. And some of the lights, the majority of them didn't work. Some of them looked like the wires were cut in some way, but I don't know how, because they had just been in a box. Nobody used scissors to open a box or anything. So My aunts and uncles did come in clutch. They went and bought new lights. They weren't exactly the same. To be fair, I think they looked better than the original ones, but she didn't really notice anything major.
I only noticed because the ones we got were white, like a pure white light, and the ones that were replaced were like a yellowish light. And I think I said something to you, and I was like, the lights kind of look a little yellow. And obviously, I hadn't heard about any of this happening, and I don't really even know that anyone knew besides, like, you guys, and maybe Madison if she was there, I don't know.
Yeah, she knew, I think. But I think they looked better regardless. But yeah, it was. So I had to leave and just leave it up to my aunts and uncles to like buy them, put them up, and hope they work and look good. So
did you guys hang the curtains and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like we did everything until the lights. But so yeah, that was stressful for me. But walk me through kind of how you were feeling throughout the day leading up to it.
So the bridesmaids got to my house around like 8:45-ish. I think somewhere a little bit earlier than that. But I had been awake, I think, since 5 or 5:30. And so from the time I woke up until the first bridesmaid arrived, which was my maid of honor, was the longest time of my entire life. Like, just sitting there, because it wasn't time to get ready yet. I had nothing to do, because breakfast had been set up by my mom. My dad was going to get the bagels. And I was just, like, killing time, basically. So that time was really long. But that is the only, like, time of the day that, like, I had nothing to do, if that makes sense. And I didn't realize how fast time was going from after the bridesmaids showed up, because the bridesmaids showed up and then I instantly started getting my makeup done at 9. And then right after my makeup was done, I went straight into hair at 9:30. And I looked at my phone one time while I was getting my hair done, and it was 10:15, and it still hadn't clicked to me that we had to leave, and I have, like, my mascara's not on, my lipstick's not on, my jewelry's not on, nothing is on. It's 10:15, my hair is still, like, not really, like, close to being done. And again, I didn't even think about this, like, while I was getting my hair done, and it was in, like, after. It's 10:40. We have to leave at 10:45, so in 5 minutes. I have all of this stuff I still have to do, and all of the girls' stuff is everywhere, like, because, like, no one was really, like, paying attention to the time, because the time just flew by. And honestly, like, from the moment I started getting my makeup done, time I just felt like was never slowing down the rest of that day.
Yeah. Everything seemed fine, like normal, good to go. I had some struggles tying my tie, but other than that, it was good. If you want to talk about the longest time, like the longest feeling time, it was we got to the church and we were downstairs in the basement. The guys were, and there's all kinds of stuff to do down there, like ping pong table, foosball, pool table, basketball hoop, you name it, they got it. I was not interested in doing anything. I was just pacing pretty much the whole time. I was not nervous. I told everyone leading up to this wedding, everyone's like, are you nervous? No. I'll be nervous that day. And I was right. And it only kicked in about, I guess, an hour and a half before, and it got worse and worse. Then we had to do pictures, and then we had to go back downstairs, and then it was just a lot of waiting around. And then,
which is weird that for you it was a lot of waiting around, because I felt like I didn't sit down until probably after our first touch when we were done. All the girls were done with pictures. I was done with everything until the ceremony, and that wasn't even until like 1:15. I think it was about 1, because then you guys had pictures. So until 1 o'clock, like, I felt like, and again, I knew the timeline better than you probably did. And so for me, when like the photographer got there right at 11 and he was supposed to have been starting on the detail shots at 11, I was like, we're gonna be behind schedule, because like I knew that like even if we got off by 5 minutes, it was gonna be like playing catch up.
Yeah.
And he got there, and then he had to like obviously like set everything up, and then he had to set up the whole table of the detail stuff. And then there was a quinceanera going on like in the sanctuary, and so then he's like right about to take the pictures of the detail shots, and it's on this table that kind of like looks into the sanctuary, and so he's getting ready to shoot it, and people just start coming out, and the birthday girl, the quinceanera girl, she comes out, and so then it's just kind of like he needs to get these pictures done because I need to start getting dressed and doing those pictures, but he was really wanting to get in these detail shots, obviously, and like I wanted him to get the detail shots, and so it was just like so much chaos going in like that moment. And then honestly from 11 o'clock until about 1, for us it was nonstop. Like it was the detail shots that I was involved in, and then I was obviously like I was more involved in that stuff than you were, but then it was like my family photos, my bridesmaid photos, our first touch, and I just kind of felt like everyone was running around, and I don't know, it was just really like stressful.
Yeah, and I won't go into there is one factor that made things a little more stressful for us, but just in case, we never know who's listening, so I'm going to bite my tongue. Nobody we're related to, if anyone's out here wondering, but there was a couple factors that did make things a little more stressful than they needed to be from a organization standpoint, and people being where they need to be and where they aren't supposed to be, and but we did make it through and in the end, so I mean it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean at the end of the day, he didn't see me before I walked down the aisle. Obviously I saw you because of our first touch, but yeah, so I mean the morning was stressful, but we got through it, and then it was the ceremony, and I was like, so I really wanted to watch our flower girl and ring bearer walk down the aisle, but for whatever reason it was like very like, no, like stay in the room, and so eventually I just was like, no, like I want to watch them walk down the aisle, this is my wedding, so I went out there and I watched them. But it was just like, I don't know, at the end of the day I just feel like everyone is so stressed about the little things when, I don't know, I just feel like it's not, at that point, if you had seen me, you were at the altar, so it wasn't like you were,
watch your elbow, miss.
You were already at the altar, so even if you had seen me, I would have been like a dot. Like it wasn't like I was,
It's not that big of a church. I mean, I would have been able to tell.
but see, I don't know that you would have been with all the people in front of me, because like all of the, I would say almost all of the bridesmaids and groomsmen hadn't walked down when I wanted to walk out there. So you have all of them in front of me. You have the 2 flower girl and ring bearer, and then their dad was with them. And so I'm like, there's so many people, whereas yes, if he's looking for me, but you didn't know I was going to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you were just at the back of the line.
No, they wouldn't let me do that.
Who's they?
I can't say.
Okay. But no, I mean, so I got down the aisle, I wasn't nervous anymore. I was literally only the waiting in the basement. It was horrible. It was so bad. I was just nervous. Like we had food down there, and I was just eating, and I wasn't hungry. I just kept eating. I'm like, I feel like if I don't, I'm gonna pass out.
Well, you say that you got to like just wait in the basement or whatever. The time that I like got to just relax, they had just started like gathering the people for the processional, so like our grandparents, our parents, the bridal party. They're putting all of these people in the like where we were, like the bridal suite, and so I'm just sitting there, and like your grandparents are in there, your parents are in there, my parents are in there, my grandparents are in there, and like, you know, my mom's emotional because obviously I'm getting married. Your dad is emotional walking around the back of the room, and it was just like all of these emotional people. And I was trying not to, like, I didn't cry that entire day except for our first touch. That was the only time I cried. And at that point, I was like trying not to cry. I hadn't eaten because I was not hungry. I had a few Cheez-Its. But it's just like all of these people, and all of them are stressed, and so then they're all like talking to me, and it's hot in there, and it was just, I was like, oh my god, my time to just sit here and be by myself, I'm not. And even like before I walked down the aisle, like my dad was still in that room with me, and so I never had like a moment to just really think to myself and be like, this is my wedding day.
Me personally would have loved that. I wanted
to like even 5 minutes to be by myself.
I wanted 0 minutes by myself. I wanted 0 time to relax because it wasn't going to happen anyways. I wanted to get on with it as soon as possible, and because the ceremony was all I was nervous about, and then once I was up there, it was fine. But I also had the most difficult job, which was walking down the aisle 2 times.
Which you weren't even supposed to walk down your mom.
That's what I was told. Your
dad was supposed to walk your mom down the aisle.
We did the same thing in the rehearsal as we did there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I guess I didn't pay
attention. Sounds about right. But I guess, do you want to go on to the reception?
Well, let's talk about the ceremony first, like the actual ceremony. I fully expected to start crying when I was walking down the aisle.
I did.
I did not. It just was not an emotional day for me.
You want to know something, guys? For about 1.5 years of our engagement, or however long it was, she has been telling me, if you don't cry when I walk down the aisle, we're not getting married. And guess what? I did, and guess who didn't cry? You. Not once.
No. I fully expected to, because, like, we had, 2 other weddings this year. And both times that, like, obviously one was my brother, so it's a little different. But, like, both times I was like, this is so emotional. Like, when it's my own, like, it's gonna be so sad, or, like, so many emotions or whatever. And for me, it was just such a happy day. And, like, walking down the aisle, I'm just, like, looking, like, at, like, everyone that's there. Like, I mean, this church is full of people that you love. And so just, like, seeing everyone that showed up and, like, came to your wedding, I mean, it was just hard to, like, be emotional.
That's so weird. That's a weird way of going about it. What was I gonna say? So what you mentioned that you said it was such a happy day. So that I have information that contradicts that, because whenever your father came downstairs to the room, he was like, "Don't get on her bad side today. She has been angry with everyone all day long."
It was honestly just, like, it was stress in the morning. And after the morning, like, it was fine. But the main thing was... What?
Get off the table.
My arm has been here.
Well, get off.
The main thing was... Brian and my mom's relationship is very different than my mom and I's relationship. And she was trying to... Like, she was trying to limit my stress, but she was making me more stressed, if that makes sense, because of the way that she was talking to me. Because of the way she was talking to me is the way she talks to Brian, and I just cannot stand it.
Tell us how you really feel.
And, like, it was, like, honestly, like, after the detail shots, I feel like I wasn't really, like, annoyed with her, but it was during those when I don't know what happened, but I think I said something, or I don't know, like, I don't really remember the details of it, but that made me mad. And then, like, I would just say that was, like, the worst part of it.
We are sorry if you're listening.
Yes, it was emotional.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if she's sorry. Well, yeah, I think that kind of sums up the ceremony. I think it went It went fine. I messed up once. No biggie. We're good.
You messed up?
Yeah, I started walking up front when I wasn't supposed to because the priest motioned towards me and I had no idea what he was talking about. Because the rehearsal, we don't, like, we just run through it. And some of the stuff we don't walk through, he just tells us what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm just following the leader.
No one's going to remember. It's okay. Anyway, so now we'll go to the reception. Reception was so much fun. Dinner was, I mean, it was so good. I wish I would have gotten thirds or seconds.
Yeah, I barely even got seconds. I got
seconds.
so few pieces of pizza. It was so sad.
The problem is like, again, with the time, dinner was pushed back about probably 10 minutes or so due to the rain because they were making the pizzas in the pizza truck outside. And when it rained, I think they had to, like, I don't know what they had to do. Stop or restart. I don't know. But they had to do something and that delayed dinner. And so then my dad does his toast and then we're all just kind of hanging out. And I was like, well, let's start the tables. We went around to all of the tables while our guests were eating. So we did a few and then dinner was ready. So then we got to eat. But by then it was probably like 5:45 maybe. So we only had 15 minutes to really eat, and then we had to do the rest of our tables because we had to be doing our cake cutting by 6:15. And so it was just very, very rushed. But I mean, I kind of knew it was going to be because we had, 16 tables we had to go around and talk to. We honestly got lucky that dinner was a little delayed because I don't think we would have made it to all the tables just starting at 6.
No, we would not. What else happened? I mean, the reception went well. I mean, everyone had a good time. People, I mean, kept saying how enjoyable it was for them, and like I said, I appreciate everyone who helped with the setup and everything because it was not something we could have done on our own, obviously, because we were supposed to get into that venue the day before, but then they double booked, so we had to wait until 9 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, I truly don't know how the whole venue would have gotten set up if our family hadn't helped. So, and honestly, with all of the like hiccups that we had at the venue, like I couldn't imagine like if we hadn't had our friends and family be there to help set up.
I agree. So I guess let's talk about the week between the wedding and the honeymoon now. How was it for you moving states and settling into the quote-unquote normal life? But we really wasn't because we were just in pre-vacation mode. But
it was weird. Like, I was here, I think, that whole week. Yeah, because you still worked on Mondays. But honestly, I had so much to do that it wasn't bad. And, I mean, with packing, and I don't think I started my name change process. I don't know really what I did. I can't really remember, but it was fun. I mean, it was like, it was weird. Like, it really didn't feel like home. It just kind of felt like I was here for an extended stay with all of my stuff.
There's a lot of it.
Yes, there is. But, I mean, yeah, honestly, like, that week was a blur because of, like, everything now that's been going on. Like, I feel like I was also so, like, naive. Like, I went into that week thinking, like, oh, like, this is the only week I don't have to work. Like, after the honeymoon, we're gonna get back, and I'm gonna do my name change and start subbing. And then, flash forward to now, this whole subbing thing is so different than what I thought it was gonna be that I feel like, I don't know.
And it took longer to get approved than you thought because we had to wait until
I didn't even get
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was still, 3 weeks between, or probably two full weeks between the end of the honeymoon and when you even got to be approved.
It was a month after the wedding is when I got approved.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, I mean, I fully expected to get 5 days a week. I'm sure I talked about it on the podcast. 5 days a week no problem. Like full days, half days, whatever it was going to be available. But I mean, there's just like not many openings, which is surprising.
I mean, and I feel like first semester of the year is going to be a little different than later. As it warms up, people are going to start, taking vacations, but it's also going to cool down and people are going to get sick a lot more. So, I mean, I think it'll start to pick up too, but I think there's also a lot of subs to go around too that are wanting these spots. So you kind of got to get on them early.
Mm-hmm.
But the week between was business as usual for me. I started a new job since we last posted a podcast, and it's going very well. But yeah, I worked that full week, and it was definitely different for me coming up because I got into a pretty good routine on my own, and then having somebody else living here, and things are different for me too. Yeah, but I think we've kind of got a good system going so far. But then it was time for my very first cruise and plane ride. So tell us about the day we left for the cruise and how everything was going leading up to it.
Sorry, I was looking for how long this podcast has been. What did you ask me?
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me about how, like, the day that we left for the cruise and everything leading up to it and how things went.
Leading up to the cruise was so fun for me. Like, I've never fully packed, like, multiple people for a vacation. Like, it's always just been, like, I've packed my stuff or I give my stuff to my mom and she packs it or whatever. And so, like, to be in charge of that was so fun.
Control freak much.
Just, like, getting all the stuff and, like, preparing for the cruise because, I mean, not like you can just go to a Walmart or Target. Like, you're literally in the middle of the ocean with whatever you have. So it was like a lot of, okay, like we gotta double, triple check our checklist and make sure we really have everything that we need. And I mean, obviously your first time flying in cruise, like I kind of really felt like I was in the driver's seat for this and like making sure we had everything that you need for the plane, like gum and if your ears were hurting or seasickness medicine, things like that. But yeah, I mean, the cruise was great. It was so fun.
Yeah, the plane ride was fine for me. It wasn't too bad. I didn't like flying through clouds, but we made it. And then yeah, I mean we had some transportation issues when we got to Miami or Fort Lauderdale. But we figured that out eventually. We sat at the airport for a while.
An hour after we had our luggage. That sucks because I was hungry, I was tired, I just wanted to be like at the hotel, like with food. We were so hungry because we had breakfast, but our flight left at like 10 and we didn't land until about 2 because of the time change. And so we were in a weird spot of we missed lunch, but it's early dinner. So that kind of sucked. And I think it was just a miscommunication between a whole bunch of people.
And a whole bunch of people that English is their the most recent language they learned. Probably within the past few years, and they don't speak it very well. And it was just a mess, in my opinion. But we made it. We got out back.
It was so good.
It was okay. I wouldn't call it so good, but it was okay.
It was so good for the circumstance if we hadn't eaten all day.
Yeah.
And that was why it was so good. But yeah, and then we walked, there was like a little shopping area out across
it's called a store. There was a shopping mall.
A store? There was like...
Strip mall.
Okay, we went to a couple different stores. And yeah, and then we just went back to the hotel, and it was probably like, 6 o'clock, and we were in bed for the night.
Watched Ratatouille. Then we woke up the next day and we were ready to get on the boat. So then we get there. And before we even get on the boat, they're already trying to take our picture, which was a common theme throughout this whole experience. But then we had to wait. We get on and I was a little bit concerned by the what's it called, mustering.
Mm-hmm.
So we walk up to our muster station, and I didn't know what to expect. But this is where they tell us like what to do in an emergency, and where our life jackets are. And she's walking about 2 steps in front of me, and by the time I get caught up to her, she said, "We're done." I'm like, "Really? That was it?" I didn't hear a word she said. I just know the general vicinity of where I get my life jacket, supposedly. But every time I saw a different muster station, I'm like, if I'm closer to that one, I'm getting a life jacket. I don't care. That was a little odd, but no, the cruise was awesome overall. Most of the stops were great. Most, we had a little bit of a run in at with Nassau with some shady individuals, but we made it through. We made some wine.
We did.
That was your winemaking experience.
It was fun. It was a lot like candle making, which is what I did with my bridesmaids for my bachelorette thing in Indiana before Nashville, which we could talk about Nashville.
That might be a different podcast.
Yes, but it was a lot of fun, and it's so fun to like have a unique wine from our honeymoon.
Yeah, so we each made our own bottles. I like mine more than hers, and she likes hers more than mine. But we'll bust those out eventually, maybe on our anniversary or something. But no, things went smoothly for the most part. Only got seasick really once. The fourth day or something. It was pretty rocky because there was a hurricane that was supposed to go right where we went, and it stayed away, but we got some of the
rockiness from it.
Yeah, and it only really rained on the day we got there and at night, so that helped a lot too. But
yeah, the worst part coming home was sitting in the airport.
Oh my god, we were in the airport for longer than a regular work day. Because we didn't leave until what time?
5 almost.
What time were we supposed to leave?
4:30.
Yeah. So we already knew we were in for a long day, and then it got longer. So
yeah,
we were there forever, and it was not enjoyable.
A lot of solitaire. I learned how to play solitaire on our honeymoon.
Yeah, and I have played so little since because I played so much on the boat because you don't have service. So I was playing solitaire on my phone because there was nothing else to do in some of the downtime or whatever. So that was, played a lot of solitaire, let's just say that.
Yes. So I guess the final verdict is that he would go on another cruise, which is good because I love cruising.
I do have one complaint, Carnival. You gotta figure out the temperature of the swimming pools on the boat. They were freezing. I mean, absolutely
like unbearable cold.
Like you couldn't really get used to it unless we got really drunk, which we never did. So, I mean, the most drunk I was during winemaking.
That was free. That's why
it was free, and I wouldn't even consider myself very drunk at the point. So, we are of age. If you
Mom was at 18, so
well, that's true. But yeah, no, everything went good, and we're still married, so that's all that matters.
Yes, we will give you guys an update more about life post-wedding and post-honeymoon and normal life now in the next episode.
Yes, you see that little thing flying around? Is that dust or is there a ghost? Speaking of ghosts, our dishwasher turns on automatically, so we'll get into that maybe later. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hopefully this sounds good. We did a brief test, and we're gonna have to hope and pray, but I think it's going up anyways because it's been too long. So and this should be on YouTube as well if you want to see our faces if you don't know what we look like. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye guys.
Doo-doo-doo.